Hi everyone, we just finished our monthly webinar with some great information on Art Week. We had John Copeland with the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. We also had Liana Perez, publisher of Art Circuits, and we had Ceci Velasco from the Ocean Drive Association. Great information. If you weren't able to catch us live, you can watch us now by clicking here. Hello and welcome to the SFCA podcast. Our goal is to inspire travel. We want to expose you to what Miami and South Florida has to offer. From Key Biscayne to Coconut Grove, South Beach to Calle Ocho and everywhere in between. Miami is a vibrant city and offers a wide array of popular attractions and venues. Come join us. So today it's a great time to join. Things are changing dramatically within the city. We've got some great speakers. We've got some new speakers, as well as our own Ceci Velasco back on with us as well. A couple of things, great things to be excited about. I've got Miami Heat shirt on. They're starting the playoffs tomorrow against the Lakers. It's been a while. 2014 was the last time. The Marlins are in the playoffs. Wild card tomorrow against the Cubs at 2:00. And the Panthers just won the Stanley. Not the Panthers. The Tampa Bay Lightning just won the Stanley Cup last night. So Florida's doing pretty good in the sports realm. And in the tourism realm, we're doing very well as well. Things are opening up, and we're going to hear a lot more information about that right now. Before we begin, let me introduce all of our panelists. Publisher of Art Circuits and Guide Maps in Digitales, artcircuits.com. Liana Perez, publisher, is here. Thank you for joining us, Liana. We also have our own Ceci Velasco, Executive Director of Ocean Drive Association. And lastly, our great partner from the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Director of Cultural Tourism, Mr. John Copeland. Thank you for joining us, everyone. John, I give the platform to you. Take it away and give us all the good news that you have.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Miguel, and good morning, everyone. It's great to see everybody on here today. Yes, we have lots of great news to share with you, and so we'll dive right in. I'm going to share my screen with everyone here, and there we go, and we are popped into a little cultural tourism update. And can I get a thumbs up? Can everybody see the screen?
Yes. I can see it.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. All right, so moving right along, I just wanted to give everybody a little rundown on what we are going to be chatting about here this morning to start off with. So first of all, I'm going to give a little recovery status update. We'll talk a little bit about what's currently open and what's not open right now in Miami-Dade County. And then we'll dive into some Miami Art Week Reimagined discussions where we're talking all the news about what's happening with the fairs and the festivals during Miami Art Week. We've got Liana Perez with Art Circuits, as Miguel mentioned, is here with us. And so she's going to give us an update on everything happening with Art Circuits. And then I'm going to close out my little portion of this with a preview look at our Temptation Month program, Arts, Culture, and Heritage Month. And so with that, let's talk about the recovery status update. And as we know, there was a executive order issued by Governor DeSantis, followed the next day by a new order from our Miami-Dade County Mayor, Carlos Jimenez. And so let's talk a little bit about what all of this means to us. And so as we move into a phase 3 reopening, why did we do this? Well, there is a great dashboard. I hope all of you have been checking in with this. This is produced by Miami-Dade County, and it is updated every day about 1:00. And so this dashboard allows you to see exactly sort of what the stats and figures are happening, particularly for here in Miami-Dade County. And so if we roll into this dashboard and take a look at the daily summary, I want to draw your attention to this. This is updated every day, like I said, about 1:00. And so this is yesterday's dashboard. And you see the breakdown of everything happening inside of Miami-Dade County. And that's important to remember about this dashboard. It doesn't take into account the whole state. It just looks at Miami-Dade County. And so we see some great indicators here. Our daily positivity rate down to 2.7% yesterday, which is great. Pulls our 14-day average down to 4.3%. So we're below that 5% positivity rate average that the federal government actually looks for reopening considerations. And so this is all good sign here. And there's lots of information on here that talks about positivity rates. Here you can see the trending over the past 14 days. And you see yesterday right here, the reporting of 2.7%. Looking at patients admitted, so this is a good indicator as well. You know, fewer people are getting so sick they have to go to the hospital, which is wonderful news for us. And I just really want to dive down to the very bottom of this is the deaths by day. And of course, when we're seeing 0 deaths per day here in Miami-Dade County, that is a terrific sign that we're doing the right thing. And so that dashboard, again, is available to anybody who tags into that new normal page on miamidade.gov. So as we heard from the mayor's order, all retail and commercial establishments are allowed to be open at this time with restrictions. As we know, restaurants are still at 50% capacity for indoor dinings. And as well, there is still a curfew in effect from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. throughout Miami-Dade County. Now, all of this information can be certainly quite confusing to a visitor who's coming from another part of the country, another part of the world, to Miami-Dade County. And so how do they find out all of this information? Well, thankfully, the team over at the GMCVB, not me, but our incredible team, the PR team and the web team, have created a wonderful resource guide. And I hope all of you are aware of this and can make use of it. You'll find it on every page of our website under travel guidelines. And so if you click that travel guidelines button, you open right into this page here. And so we update this on a daily basis. And as you can see, we updated it yesterday. And here you will find all of the orders, all of the information about curfews, what you're allowed to do, what's not allowed currently on this website. And so we keep it very updated and very current. Here's attractions and boats, which I'll talk about a little bit in a few minutes. Hotel information, what you need to expect when you're visiting one of our hotels. The restaurant situation, of course, and Miami Eats as an option for takeout and delivery, along with banquet, meeting, and convention spaces. So these things are allowed now under the new executive order to occur, again, with capacities and restrictions in place for distancing. So make sure you check out that travel guidelines page. And so next up, I want to share with you a little bit about research and statistics. And this is our research team and their page that they keep updated on a very frequent basis. This is where you'll see sort of those indicators and those indexes about what's happening with travelers coming in and out of our community. And you'll see this is an interactive index that was created by our Director of Research, Andrew Wogan-Smith. And it pulls numbers from MIA so that you see on a daily basis how many people are traveling in to our community based on, 100%, which is what our normal operations was. So if you think back on March 1st, when everything was open, we were at 102% capacity for travelers via air. And now we are approaching 30%. And you can see this is Labor Day weekend where we had a little spike there. Here's hotel occupancy. Again, this is pulled from the STAR reports. And you see that we had great occupancy there along Labor Day weekend, and it dropped off as everybody went back to work, back to school. It's fairly typical, but we're still not yet back where we were in March. Dining, this is pulled from OpenTable. And so OpenTable shares their data about how many people are booking reservations for dining. And we see really good indicators here as restaurants begin opening up. We see more people making their dining reservations. And the drive market, this is a great indicator from Apple Maps. And so as people are plugging into their Apple Map GPS directions to Miami from outside of Miami-Dade County, we're able to see and understand how many people are searching to come to Miami. And you see there's a lot of people looking to drive into Miami. We indexed again very high during Labor Day weekend and continue to do well with that drive market. So I wanted to share those few things with you to give you a little indication that yes, things are getting better and we are approaching good signs here in our community. So let's move on to talk about what's open. And here in the What's Open section, I'm going to go through some attractions, some museums, as well as some of our parks and outdoor spaces. So currently in outdoor spaces, things that have been open, Vizcaya, Deering, and Fairchild, they've been open since June, but their indoor spaces have not necessarily been open, as there have been restrictions for indoor access. But their outdoor spaces have been open, again, with limited capacity. And all of them are offering opportunities to go there and be in those great outdoor spaces, along with Miami Beach Botanical Gardens, which just recently reopened. And so that's great news for everyone out on the beach. And all of our county park spaces, as well as our national park spaces, are currently open. And we're seeing a lot of traffic and hearing a lot of good reports about people who are looking to get out in some open air space to have a great time and to enjoy, of course, our amazing weather, which hopefully will be, again, cooling off here into the fall, but also to get that social distancing space as well. So attractions, what's open? Zoo Miami is open. Zoo Miami opened about a week and a half ago now. Everglades Alligator Farm, Island Queen Tours, Top Golf is open both in Doral and up in Aventura. But we still have closings with Jungle Island and Miami Seaquarium. And again, they're waiting for the time is right for them. It's not that they're not allowed to be open. They are allowed to be open, but they have currently chosen to remain closed until it makes more business sense for them to open up. And so we're staying in touch with those folks and making sure that we will keep everybody updated as these new attractions open. But again, there are many, many more attractions than this. I just highlighted a few of the top ones. And certainly you can find those attractions and those opening information on our website. We have a reopening story that I encourage you to check out. And you can always just give me a call. Excuse me. Now, museums. Museums is a little tricky. Excuse me. So with museums, the Frost Science Museum, the Bass opened recently. The Institute of Contemporary Art, ICA, in the Design District is open. The Museum of Graffiti in Wynwood, Art Deco Museum, the Rebel Museum over in Alapata is open, as well as their restaurant, Liku. And the Dela Cruz Family Collection is open. Now, all of these museums have restrictions in place, distancing in place. Many of them actually require a timed ticket to be reserved ahead of time. So you'll have to check in with those museums before heading out to make sure that you have an appropriate ticket and you can actually get in that day. We've heard from some of the museums that do their capacity restrictions. For instance, ICA, I think, only allows about 30 individuals inside the museum at any time. Now, this is great for you because when you do get a ticket, you get the whole museum to yourself, and it feels like a private tour of the collections. So that's a wonderful thing. But we are looking forward to them being able to open up their space more as restrictions get lifted. Our Tech House out on Miami Beach is open, but these are the things that are closed. Here you see on the side. And so the Perez Art Museum, we anticipate news about their reopening in the next 30 days or so. Of course, the Children's Museum, a very hands-on, a very interactive museum. They have a lot of challenges with their reopening, but they're working on their plan. You have the Wolfsonian, the Frost Art Museum, and the Jewish Museum of Florida, which are all under FIU's banner. Florida International University operates those museums. And I hear positive signs that they may be releasing some information soon about their reopening plans. Wynwood Walls is currently closed, and I know that they are working on a reopening plan. Part of their challenge with Wynwood Walls is social distancing because they get such incredible crowds there. Last year, they had over 3 million visitors to Wynwood Walls. And again, for those of you that have been there, it's just open gates and people can flow in and out. Well, with new health and safety measures in place, they have to figure out a way to control and manage that crowd a little more safely. And so they're working out those details. The Low Art Museum at the University of Miami remains closed, as does History Miami. But I have to remind everyone that all of these institutions are doing amazing virtual work. And we've also been highlighting a lot of that virtual work on our platform and promoting that to people around the world who are looking for a Miami experience. And many great Miami experiences can happen online. With Miami Art Week. And so we're going to switch a little bit to talk about Miami Art Week now. We're reimagining it as a community. As we know, Art Basel Miami Beach and Art Miami and just about all of the major art fairs have canceled. And so they are not going to occur this year in person. That being said, just about all of them are working on a virtual fair experience where you can actually go online and visit the galleries through a virtual walkthrough. You can still negotiate with the galleries to purchase art. Art Basel has been doing this successfully because of their cancellation of the Hong Kong show and their Switzerland show in Basel. And so they're planning to do that again this year for the Miami Beach show. Now, as we all know, the reason why Art Basel and the art fairs came to Miami was because of our anchor art organizations. The amazing, rich art and culture life that we already had in Miami prior to their setting up shop here. And so many of these anchor art organizations are going to be doing exhibition openings. They're going to be having their events to the degree that they can, because we know there are still capacity restrictions in place at this time. But all of them are planning to do something during Miami Art Week. And those plans are still being developed now. Again, many of these museums are just reopening, so they're just getting back into their buildings, just getting their operations in place. So while they may be smaller in scale and scope, they will still have that great artistic impact that we always look forward to. I have also heard rumors from Design Miami that they will be putting together a show this year that will actually happen in the design district. So not out on the beach in front of the Miami Beach Convention Center, but I hear that they are working on plans to host a Design Miami show in the design district. So be on the lookout for news about that when they are ready to release. The city of Miami Beach is doing an amazing project during Art Week called No Vacancy, where they are matching 10 artists with 10 hotels, and the artists will be doing installations in the hotel's public spaces. This will be a juried show so that visitors can go in and actually vote on their favorite art and their favorite artist. And so it should be a lot of fun, very interactive, and again, designed to drive traffic to our hotel properties out on Miami Beach. The city of Miami Beach is also working on a culture crawl, which actually may take place the entire week of Art Week, with free trolleys running throughout the city of Miami Beach, and with all of the arts institutions doing some sort of special event and activity for the general public. We've heard from the city of Coral Gables that they have instituted a new mural project where they will be doing 5 large-scale murals on the sides of buildings in downtown Coral Gables. And so that will be a great opportunity for people to stroll an open air experience in Coral Gables during Miami Art Week. So now I'd love to turn this over to Liana Perez. Liana is with us with Art Circuits, a great partner of the GMCBB. She publishes a wonderful guide. And Liana, I'd love for you to share with us a little bit about what your plans are for Art Circuits in this coming season.
Thank you. Well, I am very happy to be here today with you, first of all, because of my gratitude to all the concierge. For 17 years, I have been doing Art Circuits, the guide that you know, that you have seen, that you can have given to your visitors, and you have called me many times when you have any questions. And you know, you have been the ambassadors of the arts in Miami for so many years, and for that, thank you. And now you are much more important than before, because it's not that easy as it used to be to know what's open, what's not, and what's new. Because every year we have many new things that we have to share. And I always say, once you're a concierge, always a concierge. So maybe you today are not in the same hotel that you used to be, and I will invite you to email me your personal email, and I will keep you always in the loop to send you information. But even more than that, Art Circuit is a website, artcircuits.com, that is updated daily. So every day there's something new. I will add to the list of things that John explained us, that now the Frost Museum is also open. They open only Fridays and Saturdays. So most most of the art spaces are open in few days. So that's why it's so important to go to our circuits and check the time, because our circuits is one art place with all art places. But Miami has been important, and this is something that I always talk to you about. Miami has been important to visitors, mainly for many reasons, mainly because of us, mainly because of you, but because we have these private museums that are here in Miami, and that things can change, but those families that have their own museums open to the public are here, and they are open. I mean, the De La Cruz collection, that is the design district, and the admission is free. Of course, you have to go online and say, when are you going? The Rubel Museum they used to call it Rubel Family Collection. It's the same family, but now they have this other, this other name, this other building, and the building is just amazing. The restaurant there is so good, Le Coup. And then the Margulis collection, that in photography and in sculpture is one of the most important in the world. So these three reasons for the art, people interested in the arts, they are already open. And what I have been doing since everything started evolving is that every week when something is new, I visit those places. I invited John to come with me this week because, for instance, the Bass Museum is open, but you will go to the Miami Beach. In my case, I live in Coral Gables, unless I find the right restaurant to have lunch or early dinner, the right coffee place to go, and all the hotels have amazing restaurants, great chefs, and we have to work together, the relationship between the best hotels and best restaurants around each museum that we can visit. Art in public places is so important. We have tons of art in public places. So why don't we think that this year, the season, instead of being confined, a word that we don't want to hear anymore, to 1 week Miami Art Week, we will have family coming for Thanksgiving, family coming for Christmas, people who can drive to Miami too. And as John showed us how many people are looking for maps. So parents that haven't seen their kids, kids that haven't seen their grandparents, people will come and they want to have field trips. So field trips need hotels and need restaurants. So I think that if we work together, we just launched the guide for this year. And the Art Circuits guide is going to have a techie important touch, which is that each ad can have a video. So you will see the information, this museum has this show, and you will see the video. But what's important to you, as good concierge as you are, because I know you all, I see you every year, is that people need you more than ever to know where to go and how to enjoy it. People now are people with phones, right? Well, in their phone, they can watch many things, but they need to know what's, and there is the moment when you are so important. So I'm so glad to be here. I'm going to put my email in the chat, but email me is liana@artcircuits.com, and I would gladly send you all the information that we have. And thank you for having me.
Thank
Great,
you.
thank you. Thanks so much, Liana. And Miguel, just to wrap up, I want to give everybody a little taste of what we have looking forward to December and January. As many of you familiar with the GMCVB's Temptation programs, we are also reimagining our Arts, Culture, and Heritage Month celebration, which will run in December through January. And so with this program, we are looking at a lot of things and a lot of different ways that we can engage the general public and our visitors to take advantage of our wonderful arts and culture community. So we're going to be focusing naturally on the drive market, on our locals. You know, you can only imagine what Miami Art Week will be like if we take a lot of the traffic and the international visitors out of the picture. So hopefully people will be able to get out that may have never ventured out before to visit our anchor institutions. And this will all be driven with an extensive marketing and social media promotional campaign. And we're working on with all of our hotels on bundled offers. Where hopefully we can, tempt people to come to Miami to spend the night, and potentially see some of our amazing anchor art institutions. Working on our comprehensive event listings on miamiandbeaches.com, which are always incredibly popular. Our PR and media team are putting together an art and culture press tour where we can invite members of the press to Miami during Miami Art Week to cover everything that's happening. Also, our meeting planner and travel agent FAMs. We rarely are able to host meeting planners and travel agents to see Miami during Miami Art Week because there's no availability in our hotels. This year, we anticipated being a little different, and there will be some opportunity for these meeting planners and travel agents to Miami to experience our Miami Art Week, have a better understanding of our arts culture. And we're also working on a matchmaker program. As hotels have availability, whether that's meeting space or lobby space, there are a lot of arts groups that are looking and seeking space. So we're taking an inventory of the hotel industry and working on a matchmaker program where we can match hotels that want to host something during Art Week and arts groups, galleries, museums that are looking for additional space to connect to their audiences. And then finally, there is a grand plan for an artist and cultural organization database within miamiandbeaches.com. So hopefully that will be coming soon as well. But we're working hard, and we want to make Art Week as amazing as we possibly can. We have a lot of support from the community. So with that, I thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you this fall, and hope that you will get out and experience some arts and culture very soon. Thanks, Miguel.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much for all that invaluable information. Now, do you feel there's going to be quite a few in-person shows, or it's going to be mostly virtual?
I think it's going to be a very interesting mix. We do know that as our museums open, typically during Art Week, the Bass will have an opening night, PAM will have an opening night. The Museum of Contemporary Art in North Miami will have an opening experience. And so we anticipate them to continue to do that. But again, the crowd capacities will be smaller. So you will be able to get out to all of these museums that are open and those that are about to open during Miami Art Week for some amazing exhibition openings.
Okay, perfect. And Liana, the book is your guidebook is going to be virtual? Is it going to be an actual in-hand?
It's going to be virtual. And
okay.
I am asking everybody for their emails to send it. And we have 12,000 people subscribe. So usually it will be like the same amount of people that we will reach, but digitally. And, and to answer a little bit of what you said, now we are living what we call hybrid times, because we do have many things in person and we do have many things in Instagram, basically, or on Facebook Live. And that's going to happen forever. I think that's a main change, and forever we will keep both worlds.
Okay, thank you. Ceci, any update on what's going on the beach for Art Week?
That's fantastic. I mean, we have so much art in Miami-Dade County. There's so much going on. It's wonderful to hear that they're opening. It's wonderful to hear that the momentum for Art Basel is continuing either online. It's great. It's the best of a bad situation, but I mean, for the most part, everybody's operating in the red until Art Basel, right? Until December. That's when they start going into the black. That's the Black Friday, of Thanksgiving weekend for the tourism, hotel, and restaurant industry. So we're not going to get that. We're going to reach out. We're going to keep the momentum. We're going to keep the numbers or the name out there. I think it's very important. We are having people coming in from the north. It's definitely getting cold up north, and they're definitely coming down. So what I do see on the beach is that hotels are opening. Our favorite, a fish called Avalon, is getting ready to ramp up and open. Some of these restaurants and hotels like the Betsy have been very thoughtful and have delayed opening, not because they weren't allowed to, but because they're waiting for the right time. It's a big investment to open. There's all kinds of different pressures. When you're a property owner like the Betsy, or whether you're a tenant and your landlord is expecting rent, those are all things that change your dynamic as to when you're going to open and how you're going to open. There's different pressures. We love the idea of the local art week that's going on and being able to really vet some of the local institutions that kind of get overshadowed sometimes for our Basel. But no doubt about it, on the beach, the convention center brings the people, and the people walking to Lincoln Road, walking over to Espanola Way, all over South Beach and Ocean Drive, even Alton Road, filling up our hotels, that's going to be a loss. It's definitely going to be a loss. But hope is eternal, and they are opening their arms up to people from the north, not Canada. We're not going to get the Canadians like we did in the past. I think the Canadian money has changed quite a bit. My neighbor who lives across from me on the in my condo building has just sold his unit because it's not financially feasible for them to be coming back and forth every winter. So those dynamics are also changing as well, and everything has to be taken into consideration. But there are new markets to be had. There are people that maybe didn't come during Art Week because it was too crowded. As John was saying, you know, we can explore different markets now, and we can explore some of the local art. And I'm looking forward to that.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to it as well. I'd love to see what comes about this, and I'm sure there's more information to come. Usually we do this update in November, early November. We've done it a little bit early this year, so just want to make sure that we have that wealth of information. Liana, thank you very much for your information. John, as well. We will share this information with all of our members. And for those of you that joined us late, all this is being recorded. We will have a concise version of this for you via our YouTube page, probably in the next few days or so. So the second question I have for the group is the TSA reported a steady increase in overall traffic, a consistent 800,000 plus nationwide in the last 3 days. Also on Friday, Governor DeSantis ordered all businesses open, and obviously it caught Mayor Jimenez a little bit off guard, and then he issued a statement as well. Do you feel as a group it was a bit premature, although Miami-Dade County continues its regulations of 50% occupancy indoors and 11 o'clock curfew? And as John alluded to earlier, we certainly have a very low threshold as far as infections and zero death rate in the last few days. What are your thoughts? John, I'll start with you.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know, for someone who has just last week traveled to California and back via the airlines, I must say it was a great experience for me. I'm getting my test this afternoon, so hopefully I will come back negative. But you know, the airlines are doing it right, and I must say that they were very conscientious about the mask wearing while on an airplane. You know, they're handing out wipes. They're making sure everybody is doing the right thing, which made me feel a lot better and much more secure traveling via the airlines. And the airports are, you know, and sadly they're empty, and so there's lots of space. You don't have the crowding that you've had in the past, especially at MIA. I think that if the country continues to play by the rules and do the right thing, wear your mask, wash your hands, do everything you're supposed to do, we'll continue to see, you know, it be safer and safer for people to get out there. And thankfully, Miami-Dade responded, and we did the right thing, and we got our numbers down. But there's always a fear in the back of our mind that, you know, people coming from other parts of the country that are spiking right now may not follow our safety protocols, you know, to the degree that they need to and that we need them to. And so, you know, it's just going to be important for us all to stay very diligent on, you know, keeping the rules and regulations in place and the restrictions in place.
Thank you. Ceci, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that, you know, we're caught in the middle, right? I understand the governor opened it up on Friday night. It doesn't escape me politically that it was too late for any local governments to respond at all, and it was blindsided. They didn't see it coming. So it's also on a Jewish holiday weekend, right? So we were really kind of out of commission, being able to wrap our heads around what does that actually mean. I know the county came up with something, and the city of Miami Beach came up with something yesterday. So basically, for us, it isn't that much different than what it was. From Friday, though, to Monday, everybody was confused. My phone was blowing up. What does that mean for us? Can we do hookahs? That is the biggest question. Can we do hookahs? Apparently a big seller. Apparently everybody wants hookahs. They're disposable mouth tips. They don't understand why, they even got it restricted, limited to begin with. But everybody wants hookahs because that, it's a big seller for everybody. But we're kind of caught in the middle. I would like us to work a little bit closer together so we know what's going on, so we can anticipate, so we can tell our businesses, yes, you're allowed to do this, but you shouldn't. And there is an education that associations need to give to hotels. I was walking up and down hotels, they're saying, we can take down the plexiglass. We don't have to wear masks. I'm like, yeah, you probably can, but you shouldn't. So, there is a protocol that people should follow just because it's good business practice. It's keeping your customers safe. I think anytime somebody says you don't have to do it anymore, there are risk takers that say, then I won't, right? And so that therein is a balance. I keep saying, and you've been gracious enough to invite me several times to this, we have to be the leaders and we have to lead by example, right? We have to be the ones not wearing it on our chins. We have to be the ones wearing masks all the time, keeping our customers safe, upping the game. What they're requiring us to do is the minimum standard. We have to up the game. People want to stay in hotels. They see on viral video that we're a hotspot. We need to say, no, we're absolutely safe. This hotel is taking extraordinary precautions. Our concierges are really educating the customers as to how to keep themselves healthy so they're not, catching it and they're not, passing it along to anybody else. My restaurants, I have to tell them, we are a party town. We are social intimacy, not social distancing. And we have to really educate, I think, our businesses to say, if you don't want to shut down again, if you don't want to go backwards, you have to keep your protocols very, very high. No matter what the state says, no matter what the county says, no matter what the city says. So that's kind of what I think as associations and groups, we need to tell them that. I will tell you my biggest question and that doesn't make sense to me is the curfew. I personally don't understand an 11 p.m. curfew. Go heat, but our restaurants showing the heat shows, our bars showing the heat shows have to close down before the game is finished, right? So the people who are actually coming into the local venues are going to Broward. There is not a direct correlation between curfew. Suddenly the virus is more contagious after 11. That doesn't make sense to me.
Oh.
Yeah. You can't get sick before 11. It happens after 11.
Right. So we say, go and have fun, go to all your art institutes, go and have some cultural events, come and have dinner afterwards, watch the Heat game, but you can't finish it. You got to go home by 11. We got to close by 10:30. Now, the Palace has drag shows, and it's wonderful we can have entertainment, but that he's got to close at 10:30. He only closes at midnight anyway, right? But he's got to close at 10:30, cut off the show. It's kind of giving you a little, but still holding you back, right? So let's get there all the way, and let's make sure that everybody, I would rather err on the side of educating people, spending time going out there and saying, we need these protocols in place and you should do it voluntarily. I know Florida Restaurant Lodging Association, and I'm on that board, they give achievement, seals of achievement because their members are reaching certain standards and has nothing to do with what they are legally required to do based on executive orders. I think that's what we need to do. We need to have the most outstanding hospitality industry protocols because we want that reputation and we want that to be viral and we want that to go global. But the curfew is a problem for me.
Do you foresee the curfew changing anytime soon now that we have the opportunity of hosting the Heat playoffs and the excitement, so on and so forth, or will they all continue flocking to Broward?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think that I keep hearing that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Super Bowl was one of the motivating factors for the governor. I don't know what was motivating him, but it makes sense. They want to show that they can, have big crowds and they can maintain protocols and they can have Super Bowl in Tampa. We get the Heat. we have same rationale politically to kind of show that. I think we have wonderful protocols. I think our numbers show that we can handle it. Anytime you open just a little bit, you're going to see that number go up. Anytime you're opening it even just a little bit for whatever, you're going to see, that kind of fluctuation we want to maintain. If I have any say in it, I'm going to keep lobbying to lift the curfew everywhere I can.
Perfect. Liana, what are your thoughts on this?
I go to sleep very early, so I don't have that problem, but I wake up very early as well. But in the art world, it's different in many ways, in the sense you will never find a crowd in a museum. So it's not only that you will be there because you reserved a certain hour, it's because unless there's a party, museums and art galleries have very few people. So you will always be able to enjoy that kind of activity all year round. So I am a very foodie person. So I would say that I really suffered this month because it's not easy to go outside and have lunch in a place when the weather was so hot. And you had to be only 4 people per table. I have a tertulia, I am a very foodie person, and the art people will like to talk and talk and talk. Guess about what? About art. Today and tomorrow, and every time we keep being together. So I kept my tertulia every Wednesday. We call it Wines Day. And there are not that many courtyards, but we did it. And if you are respectful, I think there's a new courtesy. We were inside our homes and without visiting our family, and we sacrificed 7 months of our lives, and we have to reflect that has to make us better people. So we have to be careful, not only about ourselves, but the other people and the kids and everybody. So I think that we are coming out of this experience that's going to last at least 6 months more or so. We should come better people, better Miamians. And as you said, I agree with you, Ceci, we have to set the example. We serve people. I mean, what is a concierge? A person who's serving other people. And that's a beautiful quality in a person, to be able to help. So we have to be those that will change the world. We are different. We are better people now. That's how I see it.
True. We are instruments of change moving forward. Thank you, Liana. Very, very well said. So it looks like Labor Day was a litmus test for the future. The next big social event in South Florida is going to be Halloween weekend, which happens to fall on a Saturday. Anything planned on South Beach, Ceci, that you know of? I assume Lincoln Road, the Lincoln Road parties are off.
There's not going to be any events planned for this very near future. I know that our mayor, Dan, our mayor is very conservative, and he holds the public health, the trust of the public health very seriously. It's a party town, but we have a lot of seniors that live here. We do have a lot of that vulnerable, generation, and he's not going, we're just not going to see this opportunity for a densely massive people in one area. Lincoln Road, I know, doesn't really have plans for that. So I don't think that's going to happen. The good news is, though, we're talking with South Beach Wine and Food Festival, who's going to reinvent themselves. And the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show is going on already. There was a boat show in Connecticut, and they're planning the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show. So if South Beach Food and Wine is happening in the spring, it seems to me that the boat show has a really great opportunity to happen also in the spring. I will tell you, it's interesting that the marine industry has flourished,
Correct.
Right? Flourished. And the marine industry has a very strong impact on tourism. So that's a new component that I think is here to stay. So we can start putting that into the mix when we're talking tourism as well. But Halloween, I don't think is going to be our next big thing. Our Basel is not our next big thing for sure in December. So Halloween in October is not going to happen. But let's look for February, and let's look for South Beach Wine and Food Festival and Boat Show. I know I'm on the board of the South Beach Jazz Festival, right, which is a disability awareness program, but we have headliners like Dee Dee Bridgewater, and we had wonderful people from internationally known, but we focus on disabilities. But we're already planning. We're planning for January. We're planning to spread it out a little bit, January and February. We're planning strolling musicians on golf carts as opposed to putting something right in the park where people will come and sit. We're reimagining how we could possibly still execute something beautiful without losing momentum, but still within the parameters of making sure that everybody is safe and everybody feels safe.
Okay, thank you. John, any insight?
Yeah, actually I do. And in fact, we've just caught wind last week of a Halloween drive-through experience that's going to be set up at, I believe, at Tamiami Park. And in fact, Brian Alvarez is on this session today, and I've been working with Brian to get this up on our website. And so this will be a Halloween sort of a haunted house experience where from the safety of your car, where you can actually drive through the experience and get your frights and scares on as a group, self-isolated inside your automobile. And so I know that those types of things are being planned and could be very interesting. Zoo Miami is actually even also doing some drive through the zoo experience with their dinosaur exhibit, which would be a great opportunity for people to get out safely from within their own vehicle. So some of those things are starting to happen.
Okay, perfect. Liana, anything in the art world for Halloween? I assume not, but I'm sure.
No, because I think that we wear costumes all year round, so we don't need one special day for that. We are planning much more because I think that is after elections then when we'll see a big change in people going out with their families and everything. So we're planning from Thanksgiving. Almost all the museums will be open in November because the museums that we are waiting for them to open are PAM, that everybody wants to go there and it's very open, and also MOCA. So I think that in November, all the museums will be open and the galleries definitely because they had great plans. And the other thing that's happening in Miami, and they are opening, are the artist studio visits. Fountainhead, Bakehouse, they have studio visits. And that's something people like to talk to the artists and, and exchange. So this is a year for local artists. And everybody's working hard. They have been 7 months confined painting. So now we are going to see what they have been doing.
Great. Christina Rodriguez from the Children's Museum, hello. She just mentioned that the Children's Museum will also offer free drive-through for our community as well. So thank you for that information, Christina. And our last question, the CDC has imposed a deadline of September 30th for the cruise lines and possibly could extend it. John, what are your thoughts on that, or do you have any insight? I know Mayor Jimenez had mentioned that he feels that it's time to let the cruise lines open and let it take its course. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Mayor Jimenez and the industry. As we have seen the numbers go down, and of course the cruise line industry is very hyper focused on viral safety on board ships. It's something that they've had to deal with since the industry was founded. But with the current CDC restrictions set to end this week, we also have heard from all the major cruise lines that even with that restriction ended, they do not plan to cruise anytime before 1st of November. So, it will take them time to get ramped up with staffing and to pull in the crews from around the world. And we've also had some very positive signs from the cruise industry out of Europe that have been cruising now for the past several weeks successfully. I know Costa Cruise Lines and MSC have been running cruises out of Italy with great success and very safe. And I anticipate that we'll be able to do the same here in South Florida.
Perfect. That'll also contribute to our hotel occupancies on Thursday to Sunday basis. Perfect.
Most definitely. Yes, we're ready for Port Miami to get back in full swing as soon as we safely can.
Perfect. Ceci, any feedback on that?
Sure. Well, the cruise lines are one thing, but like I said, my Tourism and Hospitality Council at the Chamber, we had a focus on the marine industry and its effect on tourism and the impact on tourism. And I had Kitty McGowan, who's the executive director of the Miami Marine Council, on. She was really talking about, since COVID, a lot of people who wanted to get together and had all these social distancing requirements, and they couldn't be there, and they had to wear their masks, and they couldn't get out of their table, they all started chartering boats. So the boating industry has been exploding. It's definitely a seller's market. Everybody's bringing their boats down here. The marina is busy. All the marinas are busier than ever. It's interesting because normally they would be going off for repairs, or they would be going out for to like maybe the Mediterranean, but they can't get to Europe. Part of it is they can't get to Europe, so the mega yachts are kind of staying around here. Boating is a huge thing. Cruise ships, people love them, but they're floating hotels and casinos. I'm not really sure how people feel about being in that kind of an environment and getting locked down, but I will tell you the smaller boats are now picking up all of that slack, and it's turning into be a huge market that was untapped for tourism, and they fully expect it to continue. They're going to capitalize on that and try to make sure that they're retaining that market here in Miami. So I thought that was kind of an interesting component to tourism. So when we're looking at tourism, we're looking at flying in, but we're also in hotels and restaurants, but we're also now looking at boating and chartering more than we ever did.
Okay. And Liliana, your take on this?
Well, I think that this is a year when people are savoring different things. For instance, the Tyrian State was one of the parks that opened first. They do have certain area open for art outside and inside one of the buildings. But what they have been seeing is that many people go with their picnics there. So I think that picnics is something that was not the kind of things that maybe something that the concierge can help us find the perfect picnic basket from the hotel. And the other thing is what you have been saying. Everybody likes to rent a boat and go, with the family and do something around. It's outside and they feel good about it and it's fun. And it's something that it was not the usual, Sunday lunch with the family or whatever. So I think that we change, and it's true that it's not maybe, as you said, what we want. We want the art fairs, we want the parties. Well, this is a different year. So why don't we open ourselves to a different experience? It's a local experience, but many people don't want to live in New York anymore and are buying here in Florida. So we have many newcomers, not only the snowbirds that of course will come, but we have newcomers, new neighbors, and that will make a shift that is interesting. And the good things that we have them. I mean, the private museums are ours, our museums are artists. We have an amazing community of artists, and they have been working hard. So let's enjoy them.
Indeed. Thank you. All right, this time we've got a few minutes left. I want to open the virtual mic, so to speak. If anybody has any questions they'd like to ask for our panelists or myself, feel free to ask now. I don't see any. I did see one question earlier from Charlotte at Vizcaya. Charlotte, thank you very much. She asked, she missed where the dashboard was. It's miamidade.gov, but Charlotte, I'll send you the link as well. And the PowerPoint that John's forwarded to us will be forwarded to you as well. So anyone else have any questions that you like to
Miguel,
mention?
what about
Yes.
you? What about the concierges? The concierges, are they going back to work with the hotels opening?
Good question.
How's that working out?
So most of the concierges are still unemployed. They're still furloughed. Hopefully they will be back now that occupancy is increased. If you're running 15, 17, 8, 9, 10%, there's no real need for a concierge. But now that the occupancies, I think, are starting to fluctuate on the upward trend, hopefully the bigger hotels and the smaller hotels will bring their concierge teams back. That would be ideal. Some of us are furloughed. Some of us will let go permanently, unfortunately. But with everything, changes evolves. So I'm sure that everyone will find a new place, a new home, and will move forward, and we will be in a better place then. I do have one question. Thank you very much for the question, Ceci. Let's see. Okay, there we go. John just responded the new normal dashboard and he sent the link. Thank you very much. Doesn't look like we have any questions. Do want to remind you tonight, at 9 o'clock is a presidential debate. Make sure you watch it. Very important for the history of, for the future of this country. And make sure you register to vote as well. Today is St. Michael's Day, my day. Thank you very much, Liana, for reminding me. And it is National Coffee Day. So I've got my right here, a little small one. So if you can enjoy a cup of coffee. But very important, we are going to be the highlight on Thursday, October 15th. The next presidential debate at 9 o'clock will be at the Adrian Arts Center. So we're gonna be in the limelight as well, in the spotlight of the world, when they have that virtual. Now, do you know if it's a virtual debate? There's nobody in the audience?
That's correct. Yeah, the Arts Center was pins and needles about whether they were going to be able to host this under the restrictive guidelines, but thankfully the mayor has opened it up and they've got a great plan in place, but it will be 100% virtual. There will not be an audience in the night concert hall for that broadcast, unfortunately.
Oh, well. Well, that said, thank you very much. Thank you, John, for all your information, your wealth of knowledge. All the information that John has provided will be forwarded to you along with a link of this whole conversation. Ceci, as always, thank you very much for your input and feedback. And Liana, as always, thank you very much. I hope to share that virtual map and guidebook with all of our concierge members. I, in turn, will forward you a list of all of our members as well, so you can reach out to them individually. And for all of you that aren't participating, thank you very much for your time. I know you're busy in this crazy daisy world, but you took the time out to listen to us and hear us out, and we appreciate that. If you missed any portion of this, again, it is recorded. We will be sending it to everyone that registered via link, and it'll also be up on our website. As in closing, I always like to leave one positive note, and it's something that I read that it's impacted me for years. I read this 20 years ago, and I still resonates in me today. And it is the following: the role you play is the image you become. With that said, thank you very much, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining us, and I wish you a very pleasant day. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Our goal is to inspire travel. We want to expose you to what Miami and South Florida has to offer. From Key Biscayne to Coconut Grove, South Beach to Calle Ocho and everywhere in between. Miami is a vibrant city and offers a wide array of popular attractions and venues. Come join us.